Hey everybody, welcome back to Fixit Friday, previously called Unfiltered Friday, but I'm going to give you actionable steps, exercises to take to fix whatever the issue is we talked about earlier. Remember, earlier in the week, we talked about how to unleash your inner athlete and get on the fitness path by first taking ownership, determining your fitness why, consulting your doctor if you need to, and it's always good to do that if you're not active, getting some fitness education, keeping a healthy perspective on your progress, not what anybody else is doing, and keeping moving. So today, again, we're going to tackle the topic close to everyone's heart, how to really get started. We all want to feel good. We want to build confidence. We want to maybe even rock that swimsuit in the summer. Forget about wishful thinking, though, and hoping for results, right? This Fixit Friday is all about taking action and igniting your fitness journey. So I'm going to break down 5 simple steps that anyone, yes, anyone, can take to start building a healthier, happier you. And I say anyone because I've taken these steps. Many of you have probably taken these steps. So lace up your metaphorical sneakers and let's get ready to rewrite your fitness story. Welcome to the Hope is Not a Plane podcast, where we address tough questions head on, face our problems, and highlight our hopes by providing actionable planning steps to improve ourselves, mind, body, and spirit. Now, let's get logged in and get locked on to this episode of the Hope is Not a Plane podcast. All right, everybody, let's get into these 5 steps for this Fixit Friday. The first thing we need to do is set our baseline. See where we are physically. And depending on your fitness level, like if you're just getting off the couch, or you have a lot of physical challenges, or you're just really out of shape, just walk a mile. If you're in a little better shape, and you've been doing a little something, maybe run a mile. See how long that takes you. And if you've been moving, but you still think, well, where am I physically? A great template and baseline is see how many push-ups you can do in one go, right? If your knees touch the ground, you're done. That stops the count. So nice straight back, down, up, touching the ground's good. The standard in the Navy kind of at like dive school and other things was act like someone has a fist under your chest and touch that. Also, maybe see how many pull-ups you can do, how many air squats you can do. So an air squat, these are all things that require, I guess the pull-up, you need a bar somewhere, go to a park. But air squats are something that is just like stand there, feet shoulder width apart, act like you're sitting in a chair, take your legs 90 degrees and stand back up. Just see how many of those you can do without stopping or until you can't do anymore. These exercises, walking, if you're not in good shape or have some challenges, see how long it takes you, or if you can. If you're in a little better shape, run. See how long it takes you to do a mile. It's a good standard. And then for physical muscle strength, how many push-ups? How many pull-ups? Pull-ups are hard. Pull-ups are hard for everyone. See how many air squats you can do. And then maybe see how many crunches you can do. So cup your ears, lay on your back, and bring your knees up to 90 and just touch your elbows to your knees. Don't pull on your neck. So this is going to establish where you are. If you're exhausted walking 1/10 of a mile, if you can only run 1/4 of a mile and you have to walk the rest, if you can only do 20 push-ups, that depends too, right? Men have a lot more upper body strength than women. So typically men are going to be able to do more push-ups. Same for pull-ups. But I've seen some pretty jacked women or women that just work out that do knocking out the pull-ups and can do more than men, more than me. Pretty legit. So set your baseline. Figure out what you can do, how you can move, how you feel. Second thing we're going to do is build on it, right? If you've walked that mile, great work. You made the decision and you're doing good stuff. Now next time, pick up the pace, right? Do that a couple times in a week. How much faster can you walk the mile each time? If you ran the mile, do that a couple times in a week and try to beat your pace. If you did the push-ups, the air squats, the pull-ups, and the crunches, now let's put together an exercise routine that's going to build on your baseline. Let's say we'll go for 10 reps each and we'll repeat that cycle 3 times. And let's do that twice in a week. Now you're on a workout program. Boom. It's just that simple. It really is. The simple part is putting it together. The hard part is getting up and doing it. Or in the evening. I'm a morning workout person. I would say terminology-wise, I just mentioned a couple things. So when you're starting to put your workouts together, typically you talk about a set and then how many reps you do of that thing, right? So for example, I just gave, we would do 3 sets of 10 reps of those exercises, right? So you're going to end up doing 30. If you can't do that many, make the number go down. If they were a little easier, make the number go up. This is your program, right? It's your perspective on your progress, period. Now that you're working out regularly, you've done this 2 or 3 times a week for a couple weeks now, you just do more. Work out more days, right? And think about how you can build on your basic fitness. You'll start to get a feel for your body if you haven't been physically active, or if you get more physically active and stronger, you'll start to feel like, oh, I could probably do maybe some diamond push-ups, which are putting your hands in that diamond shape and pushing down to your chest, or wide ones, or different things. And Google it. Use the resources I posted on hopesnotaplan.com from the last episode. There's great videos out there just on basic push-ups or air squats or things like that. But step 3, now that we've first set our baseline, we're building on that baseline, is to keep going and do more. And it really is that simple. The more you do, the more your muscles break down and rebuild, the more your lungs get stronger, your blood is flowing more, right? And so repetition is the only way to get in good shape and healthier, period. There are supplements that I've mentioned. There are shots and pills and things that can kind of augment, but the basis of any of those is the person putting in the work and the movement. So think about how you can build on basic fitness with maybe some weights, and you don't have to get crazy about it, or maybe a class. Say you're walking a lot. Now you're walking really fast. Well, now you want to kind of maybe do some yoga and stretch more, which is also good for your mobility. Or go to a Zumba class, like I mentioned before, or go to something else, right? Basic stretching is very helpful for you in general, so don't forget that. Now that we're working out, we're doing body weight, we're walking, we're running, we're pushing, we're pulling, we're air squatting. Let's go to resistance training. With dumbbells, with barbells, cabled machines, or even bands. I do resistance band training often, and it's awesome. Resistance training of some sort has been linked to longevity in many, many studies, and by all those folks I mentioned, Dr. Peter Attia, Rhonda Patrick, Huberman Lab, so many other well-learned, and not just learned, but learned and in shape people, which to me is worth even more. But you live longer, you reduce stress. As you get older, you're more stable, which reduces your fall risk, right? And generally, you can pick your kids up, your grandkids up. You can carry the groceries. Think about the practical aspects of resistance training. And so again, just like we started slow with walking, with some push-ups, the same thing for resistance training with weights or cables or bands or anything. Don't just jump into trying to max 300 pounds just because you can get hurt, right? We need to, this is where that maybe getting a trainer I talked about with your education and your signing up at a gym, or there are great videos I talked about. I mentioned the Magnus method, great ground level kind of information there. But we really want to start slow with lightweight and get our form down, because that's going to be the foundation of anything else we do. The standard resistance training that works great for everyone, squats with a barbell or holding dumbbells in your hands, bench press, it's old gym bro thing, deadlift, be careful if you have back issues, maybe don't mess with that, but you can do a deadlift holding kettlebells or barbells, or rather dumbbells. So there are variations of movements that don't put as much stress on you if you're just getting into things. And there's nothing wrong with using the machines at the gym, right? That is resistance training. The thing is, something's making you push hard, use your muscles against resistance. Doesn't have to be barbells, kettlebells, dumbbells. It can be the cable machine. It can be the Nautilus machine, whatever, but you're going to start pushing and pulling, right? And pressing with your legs perhaps in these machines. But get help. Most gyms have an orientation. I highly recommend doing it. Certainly you can look at YouTube and then try things. I wouldn't do that with Olympic lifts and things like that, but we're not even there yet. We're building a foundation, right? So we've set our baseline by seeing where we're at. We're building on that by starting a regular routine built off our baseline. We just have to keep doing more. We're going to add some resistance training. And number 5 has nothing to do with you moving your body. It's what you put in your body. Don't forget your diet. The basic rule of getting in good shape and losing fat and building muscle is to take in less than you burn. Now, this doesn't apply if you're a strong man, where your job is to get huge and strong, so you eat tons of calories. But if you want to get a bit leaner while also still building muscle, don't go crazy, but just reduce the calories, right? So that you're burning off, right? So Don't go crazy and drastically reduce it like 500 calories and you're hungry all the time and you're miserable because you won't stay on the diet. That's why the majority of people that make a New Year's resolution don't keep it like a month or so afterwards, because they make themselves miserable and it's no good. Maybe have a little bit less salt. Maybe don't eat as many fast food meals. Add some vegetables, water. There's science and there's specific numbers and all this, but basically as you're starting to work out more, you're going to sweat more, you got to replace that water, right? So you have to take that in. That's another lifestyle change. Now you've changed your life and you're exercising regularly. You also need to hydrate regularly. A couple liters of water a day is normal. Some people say a gallon. That's a lot to take in, but you should have a water bottle that you're drinking from all day long. So, and careful, because you can drink too much water. You got to take extreme amounts, but you want to balance that because you're going to be sweating. You got to hydrate. And the best thing to hydrate is water. Water with hydration packet stuff's good. Maybe mix those in once a day, but you don't need that all the time. Soda doesn't count. The ice cubes in your protein shake, if you start doing that, which I'll touch on in a second, kind of count, but there's nothing that substitutes for just water. And maybe some flavors, some little squirt flavors. I get it. Plain water gets boring. I did want to touch on, I mentioned protein shakes. So protein is an outstanding supplement that I do recommend you add to your diet, that I've learned about, that pretty much everyone that I trust in the fitness world and health and wellness recommends. And the guidance range that I've seen is essentially 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of your body weight. That's kind of a standard. So I weigh 205 pounds typically. So if I use one, I'm going to try and have 200 grams of protein a day. That is very hard to do. For example, most protein shakes, whether it's a scoop or a pre-made, on average have 25 to 30 grams of protein in them. So think about that. I need to have like 10 of those things, or not quite 10. But you also, again, you can eat chicken. Just look at your foods. And that's something that helps too. And there's good apps for that. MyFitnessPal, and I'm not affiliated with any of these. And again, all this information I'm sharing is my opinion based on my life experience, my research, certainly not my former or current employers, but it is based in reality and what's helped me. And when I was all inflamed and swollen because I ate like crap, even though I was lifting weights. And when I cut down my calories and got way leaner, and I'm probably in some of the best shape and as lean as I've been in decades, just from these basic things, from realizing here's where I am with my fitness. Let's build on that. Let's keep going. Let's do resistance training regularly, and then having to improve my diet. And it makes a difference, and it can make a difference for you. All right, friends, we've covered these 5 steps that's going to help you kickstart your fitness journey. Remember, consistency is key. So don't be afraid to start slow. Celebrate your progress. And most importantly, have fun with it. Walking outside when it's nice is great. Lifting, doing push-ups with friends is great. Movement should be a source of joy, not just a chore. If you're looking for more resources, go to hopesnotaplan.com, HOPESNOTAPlan.com. The show notes are there, the links, the resources I shared. And if you get started in your fitness journey and experience a breakthrough, share it. I've got a, ask a question form on there. You can share your triumph. That's great on hopesnotaplan.com. Reach out to me if there's something I didn't cover. If you have questions about, please let me know. You could be featured on a future episode. One of the gentlemen I do jiu-jitsu with, I talked about last time. He's 65. He's now lost over 60 pounds, and he feels way better. He moves better, right? This exercise changes your life, not just physically, but mentally. For now, this is your friendly neighborhood host reminding you hope is not a plan, but a good plan will bring people hope, including you. So go out there, conquer your fitness goals, and until next time, stay safe out there, wash those hands, and I wish you all Godspeed.